Hi, Fiona. Thanks for your patience. I know I was just a couple minutes late.
Oh,
I
no
had a new
problem.
student right before you, so it was like our meet and greet, like first time. And so, then he had questions about, moving forward and when we'd meet and all that. So I was
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
oh no, I'm late.
No,
So,
it's fine. I had to use the restroom anyway, so I was actually
oh, well,
like,
that
I was
worked out
worried I would be
perfect.
late, but
Hey, look
perfect.
at that. We just worked out perfectly. That's great.
So I actually have to tell you, I'm recovering from being sick, but it's actually kind of
Oh
funny when my sickness happened because Tuesday after our break last week, I was having like a major sore throat. I'm like, maybe I just didn't drink enough
no.
water, and then I was out of school on Thursday.
Oh
But I'm
no.
fine now, except I'm really
Okay.
stuffy. I just thought I'd
Yeah.
let you know, but I no longer have that sore throat, and I drank enough
Okay.
water. So,
Yeah, the sore throat. So, what I usually recommend, a stuffy nose, you can sing with it, and it's not necessarily going to be a negative thing. It just feels really funny. So, you're going to feel the vibrations, the resonance
yeah.
very differently. You're going to hear yourself differently. So, it's just more annoying, I feel like, than
Mhm.
anything. The only
Yeah.
thing other people will notice is that your M's and N's and ings, they're short because we can't really make them. We can't vibrate through our nose. So you'll instead of like doing sun, just be like sun and it just cuts off. So it just makes your nasal consonants a little funky.
Yeah.
So I
I
just
actually,
try to be
sorry.
sure that I'm very intentional about making them like super short and elongating the vowels in those spots. Um, but that really is the only thing that anyone usually will notice.
Cool. So I actually practiced on Tuesday when I had my sore throat, which wasn't bad. Like it didn't turn out bad
Okay.
as much. Because at that point I thought it was just dehydration, so I drank a lot of water for it. So I did
Oh,
practice once,
that's
but
good
then
though.
the rest of the time I wasn't really able to practice. I tried singing a little bit
Yeah.
before this and yesterday.
Okay.
Yesterday my intonation was ridiculously bad. Like when I tried to place the
Oh,
note, it wouldn't
wow.
place because I still
Yeah.
had a little bit of a sore throat there, which it's had,
Yeah,
but
the
I'm feeling a
swelling.
lot
Yeah.
better now. I don't have a sore throat, but I don't know what my intonation will be like today, so it
Okay.
might be a complete wreck.
Well, I'm really happy to hear that your sore throat is feeling better because if you had
Yeah,
like
I
a
don't
really
have
sore
any at
throat and
all.
it was
No.
painful, like if singing is painful, I always say, okay, we're gonna stop. We'll do
Yeah.
something else. Like like doing things like going through your songs and like marking them with notes to yourself, planning out, more character things, figuring out what you want to do with dynamics, practicing your breaths could be a
Mhm.
good way to do that. But if you sing and it's painful, I just say stop singing.
All right.
So,
I'll take that
yeah.
into account for the future.
Yeah, if
Definitely.
it's painful, you just stop and you go, something is wrong. It sounds like it probably was just like the drainage and whatnot. And, I don't know if you had a cough or not, but
I
it
did. I
sounds
had a
like,
major cold.
yeah. So you probably just had a lot of swelling and irritation. And then the coughing is just very abrasive on your voice. So
I believe it.
it's like belting your face off for like hours a day when you're coughing from being sick.
I
And
like
it's
that
just
that wording.
wearing, it's tiring.
Hmm.
It's very tiring. So it sounds like you had the swelling and irritation, plus from the coughing, it was just very exhausted, probably, and you just needed to rest. What's great though is that a laryngologist told me that if you just make no sound with your vocal folds for 3 full days, so 24 hours, three in a row, you actually grow, your body produces entirely new cells. So you're
Interesting.
going to grow entirely new vocal folds by that point. So he's like, it really isn't as scary and horrible as singers think it is. And they're like, oh my gosh, my vocal folds are swollen or whatever. He's like, it's not anything to freak out about. It's okay. Um, because they will grow entirely new cells in those 3 days, which is so comforting. So if you feel yourself, you're like, oh my gosh, my throat is so sore. If you just rest your voice as much as you can, in just a few days, it should bounce back. And if it hasn't, there's probably something like pretty seriously wrong. If you go on vocal rest for 3 days and your voice is still not there, that's when I'd
Yeah.
say go see your laryngologist, right? Um, and like if you ever are sick for more than 3 weeks and it's affecting your singing, I again usually say, okay, let's go see the doctor, see what's going on.
Yeah,
But it sounds
I've
like it all worked out for you. You just needed to rest
hmm
and now you're good to go. That's
feeling
great. I'm
better.
so glad.
I don't think
Um,
I've ever been sick for more than 3 weeks, like in my entire life.
yeah. Oh,
Like
well,
the only
that's
time I got
good.
sick.
Yeah, I
I
had a
can't remember.
student who she kept being like, because I was like, it could be this, it could be this, and she was like, oh, I don't have acid reflux. I've never had that. And I was like, well, they call it the silent killer of the voice. So
Oh, I believe that.
I was like, because it you don't realize it's happening a lot of the time, and your voice just kind of goes away. And her voice was super airy and breathy for like 3 months. And I finally like just called and talked to her dad and was like, I really strongly suggest you take her to the doctor. And then they scoped her, and sure enough, they were all
Uh,
swollen and like red from acid reflux. And she was like,
I
what?
know what you're talking about. That
So yeah.
experience.
Um, but yeah, she just did not want to go. And I was like, we got to figure out what it is. So yeah,
Oh
like
no.
you want to take care of your body especially well because it's your instrument. So yeah, I'm so glad though that it came and went. So it sounds like you're in a good spot. If
Yeah.
you have trouble with certain pitches today, that's okay. We're gonna see what happens. Um, and part of that could be, though, the stuffiness in your nose, because it is much harder to hear yourself with your sinus passages stuffed up. And it also is going to feel a little bit different because the resonance is not the same. You're not feeling the vibrations in your body the way you usually do. So that could be a big part of why it's a little bit tricky. Um, on stuffy days, you have to really, really trust your breath and really trust your technique. Um, so if you're if you're not doing those things, you get anxious and like tense up and stuff,
No, I believe it.
it's not gonna be good. So we're going to heavily rely on the breath today. I also recommend on the days you're stuffy with your practice, probably practice more on vowels or like the lip bubbles or things like that rather than with the consonants because you're going to get pretty frustrated if you do something like mommy made me mash my M&Ms and it's all these M's and you can't vibrate through them and you're going to be like, oh, this feels terrible, right? So a lot of practice more on the vowels. So I just want to see, we'll kind of ease in, we'll do some more gentle exercises to get us going today, and then we'll see where we need to go from there. And I'm very hopeful. From what you're saying, it sounds like you're probably pretty much okay
I'm
to
feeling
to
pretty
sing
good,
today.
yeah.
So yeah.
Does
So
that mean that I
let's
should probably wait to do Fan of the Opera piece next week, or can we work on that today? Because I was kind of looking forward to
let's
working.
see where you're at. We're just gonna see
That's
what
fair.
happens, and then we'll go from there.
I'd
So
much rather
a lot of
wait
the
than like
time, people
hurt
come in and are like,
myself
"I'm
and then not
recovering from
be
being
sick.
sick. I probably can't do this," and then I'm like, "Well, you sound great," you know. So we'll see. We'll see where we're at. So let's start with just the sustained pitch. We're not going to do the M's and N's and ings. So this time we're going to do a Z instead. Z. And we're going to try on Z sustaining. All right. And we're going to just see how we do. We're going to hold it out and see what happens. So on Z, and just hold it as long as it's comfortable and then just let it go. Okay. So breathing in. Z. Did that feel okay?
Yeah, it felt fine.
Cool. All right, let's go up to the next note. Breathing in. Z. Great. Breathing in. Z. Breathe in. C. Breathe in. C. Lovely. Good. So, was any of that like extra fatiguing or painful or any twinge of anything like that?
Oh, not really. I think
Okay, great. One thing that I sometimes recommend when you are in that recovery period is doing less on E and A because they put a little more pressure on the vocal folds, whereas the more rounded vowels like ah, o, and oo are a little bit lighter on the pressure in the vocal folds. So they'll just be a little more gentle. So if you are practicing this week and you feel like you get to where you're like, oh, I'm feeling a little fatigued, try to just do the more rounded vowels then if you run into that. But I didn't hear anything concerning, so that's why I checked in with you. Okay, great. So let's try stretching the vocal folds. If it's breathy at all or anything like that, just that's okay. The only thing I'm concerned about is it painful at all? Okay, so we're going to try on whoop, going low to high, just in your comfortable range. Whoop. Nice. Yes, let's do one more of those. Whoop. Good. I did hear at the top, it sounded like it was a little bit, just a little more effortful, I would say. Did you hear that or feel that?
Yeah, I felt that. I heard it more than I felt it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So my guess is just that you probably just have some like irritation that's still recovering from like coughing and whatnot. But I didn't hear anything bad necessarily. It just was like, oh, that's not like our optimal sound. And it just felt a little more effortful. Like getting the clarity there is probably a little more effortful today with. So if you do have some irritation there, you might have like just like little like swollen spots, and so it gets a little more airy or whatever. So don't worry about trying to make it be super clear of a tone up there. Just let it be a lighter connection and a little bit softer, just so that we don't feel tempted to push at all or like strain it more. Yeah. Okay, so let's do now high to low on wahoo. So we're gonna go woohoo and slide down.
Woohoo!
Nice. Yeah, that felt a little more gentle at the top. Good. Let's try that one more time. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
All right. Yeah. Part of what it might be too is that your muscles haven't been stretching like that in a little while since you were sick for a week. And so sometimes it's just the muscles going like, ooh, okay, I haven't moved like this for a little while. So it could just be that too. So yeah, we'll just be mindful of that. But I'm again not hearing anything worrisome yet, so that's good. Maybe we won't at all. So then let's go ahead and try. We're gonna do the same sustaining again, but this time on. Let's do zoo this time. So breathing in, and we're gonna go zoo and holding that one out. Breathing in, zoo. Nice. Zoo. Good. Zoo. Great. Zoo. Breathe in. Zoo. Awesome. How'd that feel for you?
Pretty good.
Great.
I feel like
Excellent.
in one spot in that final note, like I don't know what it is, but sometimes I'll just hear like a tiny buzzing, like it'll kind of flick in and out, like.
Yeah, I heard a little
weird.
like catch like that. And I think it's just the drainage. I think it's probably just the
That's
drainage.
happened to me before, obviously, like at different times, but like sometimes
Yeah.
it'll just be like, I don't know, weird.
Yeah, so something you can do when you feel that is check that we are clearing off the vocal folds. The vocal folds don't like mucus and congestion just sitting on them. It's very irritating. So if you feel the instinct to cough or you feel like a catch or something, Again, a laryngologist taught me this at the it was a vocal symposium with Cleveland Clinic at
Oh,
Oberlin.
fun.
Yeah, so it was this big like, presenting on research and stuff. It was pretty fun.
Cool.
So he said, what you do if you feel that instinct to cough, but you want to be gentle with your voice because you're a singer, right? You're gonna go, and then you swallow. So you're blowing any congestion off of the vocal folds, and then you're swallowing to say, like, I'm going to remove that from that part of my throat. Yeah. And then you try singing again afterwards, and it should feel more clear then. Another thing you can do when your throat's like dry is you can take a little bit of water. This doesn't actually affect your vocal folds themselves, but it'll help your throat to feel less dry if you've been coughing and stuff. So you gargle it, but you slide your voice up and down at the same time. And then afterwards, your throat feels so much more hydrated. It's a little trick.
That was too much water. I think I was.
Oh, yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Oh, too much. So those are little tricks you can try. Maybe you're just not used to gargling. Maybe this is something we need to practice.
At that, but it does feel nice. Like my throat feels better now.
It's like soothing, right? It's like, oh, but it seems like it's just something you'll have to practice a little bit. That's okay. So then, okay. So I'm hearing good stuff. And what you'll notice sometimes too is if you feel that catching on the same notes or in the same range over and over again, it might not actually be the congestion sitting there. That's a little clue that you might have a little swollen or irritated spot on your vocal folds. And it's saying, when I'm in this position, that doesn't feel so great. And then you go, okay, that particular note doesn't want to vibrate as much today. That's okay. And you just mental note that, and you just be really nice to your voice in that range. And you still sing, because as you sing the other notes, what's cool is you'll have these little irritated spots that are swollen, right? But as you practice, a speech language pathologist told me this. That's like a physical therapist, but for voices. What you want is, as you do these gentle exercises, the rest of your vocal folds are going to fill with fluid and get lubrication. And what's cool is then your entire vocal folds are going to fill with fluid and swell. And then when you vibrate, it's going to line up evenly, and it's going to vibrate the way you want it to. But when you're not feeling good and you feel that irritated spot, you usually are like, oh, I'm just going to stop. But it actually helps your voice to recover faster when you do the warm-ups and those gentle exercises, because then your vocal folds are going to swell and they'll vibrate more evenly, and then it helps actually support, like all of the vocal folds are supporting then. Instead of just having those irritated spots rubbing again and again, it's like rubbing on a blister over and over on your heel with a new pair of shoes, right? You don't want that, right? So it's like, getting those so cushy socks that have like the extra thickness in that spot or something, it's just like a really gentle, nice thing to do.
Is that at the same vocal convention thing that you went to?
Oh no, that was actually a different thing. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So it's really fun to talk to other types of voice professionals, because they have different ways of looking at things, or maybe they'll articulate things in a different way. It's pretty fun. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead, because I am hearing good stuff. I want to see, because you do want to work on Think of Me, I want to see how high we go where it still feels like nice, and where we get to that your voice is like, oh, that's stretching a lot for today. So I just want to see how far we go and feel comfortable. Let's try on a V consonant, so the, and you're going to think of vibrating through a narrow straw. All right, and we're going to try going, so we're just sliding through that octave slide, okay? Breathing in nice and gentle. Did that feel okay?
Yeah, it felt pretty good.
Okay, just checking. I thought there was maybe just a tiny bit of tension or constriction at the top. So I just want to see if we can relax in the throat a little bit more. So let's try this time. I just want you to like move your head like a bobblehead doll as you do that one. Try that one again. Yeah? All right, so let's try that again. Good. I want you to try now. Think of a nice long back of your neck, and your chin's going to feel nice and level at the floor. And then you're going to just release that jaw down. And you're going to try just ah on that same one. Yeah, I think having it more open like that, I like a little bit better for that part of your range, okay? That felt good?
Yeah, but today my voice, think I might have like done something. I don't know. Like it might have cut out a little bit at the top that I was singing it.
That's okay. If it cuts out, that's all right. Like just like a little crackly moment.
Yeah,
that again could be congestion. It could be like some
Probably
congestion getting in the way.
sing.
Let's try this one and see how it feels. Okay. Feel okay?
Feeling good.
Yeah. I didn't hear anything concerning or that I was like, ooh, red flag. So that's good. Let's try here. Great. And let's try this one. Breathe in. So that's as high as the song goes. So I think as long as that felt okay, we're good to go.
Yeah, definitely not as good as usual, but obviously that's to be expected.
Yeah.
I felt a
That's
little
okay.
bit of like not like pain or like dryness, just a little bit of irritation right there.
Yeah.
That final top note.
Yeah.
Like I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Well, also you're stretching pretty far there. And also
Yeah.
we're right on the edge where we're about to flip into your whistle register area. So that is pretty normal to feel that, like, walking a tightrope there, like that balancing act. That's really normal. So that I didn't hear anything concerning, and I think again that's very normal. So I don't think that that's concerning. So let's go ahead then. Let's do one more exercise before we switch to the song. And let's try, we're going to start a little bit higher. We're going to go on. So it's going to be a slower descending scale and then a little arpeggio up and down on that pure ooh. Breathing in. Switch to O. good. All right, so then from there, let's just do a yeah. So it just cut out right on the transition to your whistle register. And that's okay. Again, very normal. And it's probably just your vocal folds saying like, "Ooh, this is a lot of work," right? When they're like, I got used to not having to do anything for, a little bit there. And that's okay. And also, they're probably still a little bit tired from all the coughing. So, totally understandable. All right, so we're going to take a look at this song. Since you are stuffy, we're going to keep that in mind with the practice and sticking with more gentle, rounded vowels. Could we try either on the lip bubbles, the tongue trill, or the like motorboat in the bathtub little kid thing where they go like, or like the nanny nanny boo boo on the playground, like that thing they'll do. So one of those three, go ahead and pick one of those.
Oh, I don't really care, but usually I'll do lip bubbles today, I guess.
Okay, lip bubbles it is. All right, so we're gonna do our lip bubbles and we're gonna sing through the song one time on those. And you're gonna basically try to think, all right, my air is my fuel for my voice. I'm letting it do all the work here. Okay? Yes. So really focusing on that breath.
That breath. I like this one because it makes me focus on breath.
Yes, I agree. It is a good one for that.
Right. Do you want me to just start?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, I didn't get started. Wow, I'm really struggling with these today. Okay, let me try that start again. Musical interlude. Da, da, da. All right.
All right, so I'm going to stop you for just a moment. So what I'm noticing is that the reason it's cutting out as you go higher is that you're having some tension creep in. So your body is saying, oh, I'm going higher, I need to help. And those muscles are tightening and constricting and actually cutting off the airflow. So
interesting.
We need to tell them, hey, I'm okay. I don't need your help, right? Because right now they're going, oh, we're going high. I have to help. And the muscles are kicking in and constricting a little bit, cutting off that airflow. So we need to consciously keep that passageway open as we go higher. So let's try on these lip bubbles. We're going to try doing some large leaps up where we go a little bit higher, and you're going to feel how the air needs to move through and how these muscles need to stay relaxed, these neck muscles, yeah? So let's try. We're going to go on. All right, you're going to feel as you go higher, you need more air. So I actually want you to do a plie. You could do first position, second position, or you do a plie as you go higher to help engage in that core more and feel that core connection really strong, okay? All right, so we're going to try that. So you're going to plie and be physically going down as your pitch is going up, okay? Your head's going to go down as your pitch goes up. So opposite directions, all right? So let's try that. We're going to go. right, try that. Breathing in. Yeah, and then as you slide back down, you can stand back up. Yeah? All right, so let's try here. Breathing in. Breathing in. Breathing in. Breathing in. Breathing in. Breathing in. Breathe. Nice. And there we went all the way to your whistle register. We crossed over. And I actually felt like it sounded pretty darn supported and good up there. How'd you feel?
Pretty good. Those plies were surprisingly effective.
Yeah, yeah.
Helpful,
so I'm going to give you the suggestion that now, as you're doing the lip bubbles through the song, whenever you go to a high note, you're going to add a little plie down. That's going to help engage your core more. Your breath is going to be doing what we need it to do. And if the breath is working, then these muscles are going to be like, oh, there is no job for me to do here. So the hope is that as we do the right thing, these will relax. Yeah?
Alrighty.
Same thing again on the lip bubbles. Let's try it.
Do you want me to start from the top?
Do you want to start from the key change there?
Sure.
Yeah, you can if you want. Or if you want to go ahead and start from the top again, that's okay too.
Is that and though it's clear?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. I do not know if those notes are right on the final part, but that was fun.
That was actually really good. It was much better.
Yeah, it felt
Did it feel okay? Like vocally, did you feel good about that?
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, a lot better than I the first time around. Definitely. I'm not used to it because now I don't know if like I've gotten better at breathing, but when I'm actually singing a piece that will not sick, a lot of my older marks for breathing are like unnecessary. But now I'm going back and using those, so I'm glad I have them marked.
Mhm. Yeah, awesome. So, so how does the plie change things for your breath?
Well, I know that it like activates your core, and I also this probably isn't it, but it kind of provides like more of a distraction to like that way you're not like overthinking like whatever's going on. But mostly, I think
Hmm.
it's the core muscles. It's
Yeah. Yeah, good. Okay, so then let's try, let's go through this song. Hmm. Okay. When you feel like you're in your chest voice area, the lowest parts, you're going to be on an ooh. When you feel like you're in more of your mixy area, you're going to go to more of an O sound. And then when you feel yourself go to pure head voice, like on your high note at the end, for instance, you're going to go to an ah in that moment.
ah. Okay,
Yeah.
so
I don't think
oh
we
ooh
really
ah.
have to go to ah in any other part during the song. That's really the only part we have to go to an ah. So most of the song will be on oo and o, but then you'll feel the change in shape when you go up to the ah on the cadenza there. All right, so we're going to sing through these vowels that are going to help us feel how closed or open we need to be based on the range. And I'm sticking with more rounded vowels again because they're a little more gentle on the vocal folds. Okay, can we try that?
Yes, definitely. So lowest is ooh or is mid range
Yes.
ooh?
So
Okay, lowest is ooh.
oo, the most closed when you're low, o
Ooh. Oh.
when you're in the
Oh,
middle,
okay, that makes
and
sense.
then ah, most open when you're
Ah.
the highest.
Oh, ooh, ah.
Yep.
All right. Just as though I have like a frame of reference, would you say this piece starts on the mid range or like lower? Because I know I can kind of feel it, but that's like mid range, right?
Yeah. So my rule of thumb is look at the staff. And if you have notes that are at the very, like at the bottom of the staff or like right below, if it's like on the E and below, like, the middle C is hovering under the treble staff and stuff, or like the D underneath. If it's if it's on that bottom line of the staff or lower, I'm going to think of that as my more chest range area.
All right.
Then if you think of, okay, it's solidly on the staff. So anything from like that F up on the staff, I'm going to think of that as being more of a mixy range. And then anything that goes above the staff, I'm going to think of as my more head voice range.
All
So
right.
that's just
Cool.
a good rule of thumb as you're looking at it. So you have a
I can do that.
visual cue. Yeah.
Ooh, oh.
But you also trust what you're feeling and noticing.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Got it. Oh, oh. Wait. I also feel like I this sorry, I don't know. I'm keep mixing up ooh and oh. It shouldn't be that hard since everyone's open. So
That's okay.
ooh,
And there
oh,
honestly isn't
ah.
like this is an exercise. So it doesn't have to be
Don't
perfect.
overthink
It's
it.
totally fine. If you're like, it's kind of muddy, that wasn't very clear, that's okay. I feel like O's are kind of tricky vowels to make clear. I feel like O and I and tend to be trickier vowels. So if you feel like the O is a little like ambiguous, I feel like that's pretty normal.
Oh, ooh. Okay, got it.
Ooh, oh, ooh,
Ooh, oh,
oh.
yeah.
Try to feel the difference between the
Ooh,
two.
oh,
Ooh,
ooh,
oh,
oh, ooh,
ooh,
oh, ooh,
oh,
oh, ooh, oh,
ooh,
ooh, oh,
oh.
ooh, oh.
hmm Yeah,
Like saying
let's try it again.
go,
And again, if you get a little off, no big deal.
go, to go. Hey. Okay, got it. Sorry. Ooh, nope. Oh, ooh, oh, 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 ooh, oh, oh, oh. Never know whether to wait like the actual time or whether to just keep singing. Should I wait like the actual amount of time that the interlude is, or should I just keep going?
I would count. I would
All right.
try to count and go with it.
All right. Sorry, I keep stopping
You're
here. I will
good.
keep
Yeah,
that in mind for future things.
that's okay.
Almost forgot that I'm singing an
That's
aw.
all right. Awesome. Okay. So then the reason I picked those vowels again is to help with knowing how open or closed we need to be based on the range and also awareness of where you are in your range. Um, And because those more rounded vowels are more gentle on the vocal folds. Another thing you might try is singing on the vowels of the words. So like think of me would be E-I-E, E-I-E-I-E, A-E-A-I, right? And if you get a little off again, no big deal. But what's great about that is that you can practice and be like mentally thinking of all the words and kind of like practicing mentally on your words, but you won't get stuck in your nose on those nasal consonants, right? Um, so the next few days, we're going to just be really mindful and gentle. So things like humming, like the rrr, rrr, those are all really gentle. Practicing on these more rounded vowels is more gentle. So we're just going to be really conscious of that. You could do things like singing through a straw, um,
Oh, I never thought about that.
singing through a straw into a cup with just a little bit of water, and you'll feel the pressure a little bit differently. Those are really good exercises for when you're in recovery mode. Um, so, yeah, a lot of good stuff you can still be doing to kind of help your voice get back on its feet. So, usually, they don't recommend taking total vocal rest these days. They recommend kind of like slowly, gently rehabbing it, is usually the recommendation instead. So, if we feel like you don't get better, then we seek out help. But I think you're going to be
Yeah,
okay.
I feel like I'm getting better like already. Like by tomorrow I'll probably be much better.
Yeah, I think so. So I probably would recommend um, just kind of taking it easy and resting your voice for the rest of today, and then just be aware. Maybe do shorter practice sessions right now. Just when you
Okay.
start to feel fatigued, just be like, okay, that's all for now, and just really listen to your body and what it needs and just be nice and gentle with your voice. But it's already on that upward trajectory for sure.
Cool.
And then if the stuffiness and like drainage and coughing is bugging you, um, you can get the Mucinex, that's the expectorant plus the cough suppressant. Um, I don't recommend using Sudafed if you're going to sing or ibuprofen if you're going to sing because it can make your vocal folds just a little more like fragile, I would say, and more likely to be injured. Um, but if you use the expectorant with the cough suppressant, the expectorant is going to thin the mucus lining and help your body to clean it out. And then as that's happening, your instinct will be to cough. So we want to limit the coughing as well as a singer. So that cough suppressant part is going to help to limit the coughing. So that would be a really useful, the Mucinex, that's the expectorant plus the cough suppressant would be a really great thing to use. And then I would recommend do things like take it's the turmeric. Um you can get a supplement of that or you can just like eat curry or like eat mustard because it has it in it. But that is an anti-inflammatory that doesn't have the same bad negative side effects that you could get from others while you're singing. So you could do that. You could do like also like a probably not a very tasty concoction, but like a warm water with like some turmeric and like lemon and honey and like dissolve it all in
Oh,
there and then drink it. It probably won't taste the best, but it actually
why wouldn't?
would be good for your throat.
I
Um
believe it. I believe
yeah.
it.
You also could try gargling just with like some warm water with salt dissolved in it. That can be really soothing and good for your throat as well. So, um and maybe like if you have you can even just like boil water and then like put it in a bowl and then just like breathe in the steam can be really good too. Yeah. So some
Cool. Thank you so
ideas
much
for
for all the
things you can
suggestions.
try. Yeah. But it's just part of life, unfortunately.
I know, right? We all get sick.
Yeah. Even if you didn't do the turmeric in the warm water, you could like do the just honey and lemon in warm water and sip on that, and it would be really soothing as well. So just some ideas. So take extra good care of yourself this week, and I'll see you next
Thank you.
Monday, okay?
I'll see you next Monday.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, Fiona.
Thank
Awesome
you
work
so much.
today. See you soon.